Yo, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy SoSo, in case you ain't know so, and welcome back to another dope episode of Sports with SoSo, coming to you live. This week, the Heat make it 3 straight victories while still being undefeated at home. The Hurricanes keep it rolling in the ACC as they're undefeated at home as well. Waste Management Open has a back-to-back champion. And oh yeah, we recap an amazing Super Bowl weekend. It's time to take a ride, y'all. Let's go! What a weekend. What an amazing weekend of sports, dog. Especially if you're, let's say you're not a hardcore sports fan, right? You got to see a lot of excitement in all aspects of sports, dog.
It was pretty wild.
That's the one.
It was pretty wild. Waste Management, if you're into golf.
Right.
And even if you're not, I mean, it's one of the rowdiest events. Most of the people that go to that event are just crazy, drunk college kids.
Good people.
Great people. Those are my peoples. And then you also have, you had UFC on Saturday night. You also have ACC basketball, on Saturday night as well with the Canes.
Correct.
And then, you just cap it all off with Super Bowl Sunday.
Wow. And you know what, dog?
Arguably one of the greatest weekends of the year, sporting-wise.
Absolutely. Especially because, again, if you're not that hardcore sports fan, you get that entertainment, right, from afar. You got to see the halftime show at Super Bowl. You get to see the celebrities that show up to the Waste Management, right? And it's pretty cool because you don't necessarily get that every weekend. You get the hardcore sports thing, but you don't get that every weekend. And even you mentioned the Saturday night with the UFC fight. I felt like everybody on earth was watching that fight on Twitter, man, because of how exciting the card was. And I can't wait to break all that stuff down. But if I had to start with something that personally has me the most excited from this weekend, was the Miami Heat, dog. Because we didn't get a lot of win streaks this year, right? That were significant or are significant. But this 3-game win streak that they have going on right now, dog, is not only brought life back to this team, right? It's brought back an energy, some type of motivation, right? Where these guys are steadily climbing the Eastern rankings, where they need to be a little bit closer to that success zone that we've talked about. And look, I personally didn't see it coming, because I was in not necessarily a bad phase when it came to this team, but it was just hard to see them give consistent production. And we've definitely seen these guys have consistent production as of late. I mentioned it in the intro. They've won 8 straight games at home now. That's crazy, considering that they're facing a real tough opponent tonight while we're recording in the Denver Nuggets. It's still nice to see these guys be able to put up win streaks like that, especially at home, right? It matters the most. But now that they've been able to get some tough road victories, and the one that they got against Orlando, which is always a tough team for us, right? Like, we usually have a better squad than Orlando, but for some reason, it's always a tough matchup. We went in there, came back from being down the whole game, and ended up winning the game in overtime. That's a type of resiliency that we haven't seen in the Heat a lot this year,
We talked about it last week, though. Your concerns weren't so much with the Heat's ability to win at home.
Right.
Your concern is more so with the Heat's ability to put a streak together like that on the road.
Right.
And, yeah, it's nice. Don't get me wrong. It's nice to see the Heat win, especially, some of these games we're going to get into right now, the way that we're winning them. We're looking like we're more, mid-season form now, finally, where early on we weren't looking too sharp. Bam is killing it. He's having an MVP type season right now.
What a bargain.
Jimmy is still showing that, he is that dude. And you got guys, like Gabe Vincent, who've been stepping it up for us, and they got us back in as fans feeling like, all right, you know what? This team is definitely still a playoff contender. At the very least. And now we got it. The win streaks are nice because now it's going to help us with the seeding.
For sure. You mentioned the seeding, and like right now the Heat are currently still in 6th place, but they're only a game and a half behind the Brooklyn Nets, who are not as strong as they were when we started the season.
Well,
right?
They just lost their 2 biggest pieces. Even though there's a rumor that KD's physical didn't pass or something, he might be on the way. That's happening for sure.
That's happening for sure.
All right, well, they lost 2 of their biggest pieces.
For sure.
Now they got Ben Simmons garbage ass over there by himself on an island.
Defensively, that team is good, but offensively, which is their major threat, is no longer there, right?
Correct.
So now that just puts us in a position where not only are they beatable, but we should be able to catch them, right? And even the teams that are behind us, like the Knicks and Atlanta, they haven't really shown any of that promise, you know? For as bad as the Heat season has been, they've been in control of the Southeast Division since the moment the ball tipped off this season, which is weird to say because Atlanta was supposed to be a better team, right? They have Jason Collins, Trae Young, and for whatever reason, they can't put it together. But when we talk about the Heat and see like what the victories have looked like, especially the 3-game winning streak that we're talking about, that victory against the Pacers was a hard-fought victory, bro. You know, because
another team that plays is tough
every single time. And again, another team that is always going to present a challenge because of the style of basketball that they played. You know, the style of basketball that the Pacers are known for is that gritty. We're going to rebound. We're going to make you work for your rebounds, and we're going to try to attack you in like the paint and stuff like that. Tough game. And even still, with all that, we saw our guy, right, Bam, go out there and put 38 points on these people. And not only 38 points, bro, an efficient 38 points, man, because this dude was 12 of 16 from the field, 14 of 14 from the free throw stripe, had 9 rebounds, 2 offensive. Oh, and on top of that, he had 3 assists.
I mean, the biggest number that stands out there, 14 for 14 on free throws.
The Dwayne Wade special, they call it down here in Miami, right? You wonder how Dwayne Wade was able to keep that 26.6 average, you know, when it comes to scoring like that, because he was getting to the free throw, A, double digits, and B, making them. This level of Bam that we're getting is such a bargain because we were worried about the level of play he was going to be able to give us when we signed him to the extension, right? And it was like, oh, yo, man, we haven't seen Bam do it consistently. We want him to do this. We want him to do that. We want him to score more points. And all he's done is answer the freaking bell every single time. He's our leading scorer, our most efficient scorer, our best rebounder, our best defender, one of the top 3 assist makers, right? The way he can pass from the post and even in the system. What else can... The only thing that we haven't seen him do yet is be clutch in the playoffs. That's it. And that's if that's the biggest knock, then we got to see what type of momentum he plays with this season, because this is obviously his best season as a pro,
right?
And how that translates into the playoffs and what confidence he's going to be playing with.
Absolutely.
You know, even for Jimmy Butler, dog. Jimmy Butler has to be looking at him like, I got me a dog right here. You know, he's just making my job a lot easier. And in that Pacers game, he balled out too. Had 25 points, 9 of 18 from the field, 7 of 8 from free throw line. His big jumpers, right? Go back into that Rockets game where we come out and have to, you know, withstand this onslaught that they try to put us on. And then it got ugly in the second half where both teams only scored, 39 points in 2 halves of basketball. For a game to end in the low 90s, mid-90s, 97, 95, that just shows you how much defense was playing that a part of that game, you know? And Jimmy Butler...
What an ending.
What an ending.
What an ending to this game. That was the alley-oop walk-off, you know, from the inbounds pass. I mean, you see it occasionally. Everybody's
tries it.
I mean, you got to credit 3 people on that. Number 1, let's go ahead and credit Coach Spo for drawing up the play.
The legend.
That's number 1.
The legend.
Right?
I want people to call him the legend Coach Spo.
All right. So then the second person we got to thank is Jimmy Butler, of course, for playing that perf to perfection, you know, faking it, selling it, and then just cutting back and being where he needed to. But lastly, and I think most important, you got to give it to Gabe Vincent.
Absolutely.
What a dime of a pass that was.
Not only that it was perfectly placed, the way that he passed it and the difficulty of that pass. Because the person that was inbound, defending the inbound, was 7'2". They had a 7'2" person out there guarding Gabe Vincent's short ass. And he still was able...
He's still taller than both of us.
Right? And he was still able to find the perfect trajectory to put it to him. And,
that's a tough one.
Yeah, trajectory, and put it on the money to Jimmy. Because Jimmy didn't even have to really make an effort to put it away.
No, because
it was literally right there.
Because there was a breakdown in the defense. Because he sold it so well. He held it for the right amount of time and just broke off when he needed to. That he was perfectly open. But I mean, I know those guys are pros, but like just what a pass. I can never put that ball in that situation with that moment. You know what I mean? Game on the line. Like, it looks so just routine. You can tell those guys do that in practice all the time.
Yeah.
Love the chemistry, bro. You got to love that. One other thing, besides, I know we're going to continue talking about the next game and possibly this one, but off the court, you're seeing these guys meshing so well and having the chemistry where they're going to each other's jersey retirements, right? It happened with UD a little bit earlier in the season. Now, recently, Hero had his high school jersey retired. They were all there for that. So, like, you can tell that this is a good unit, bro. This is not new. We've been around for a couple years now in the making, and these guys like playing with each other.
For sure. And you mentioned Tyler Hero, and it was good to see him kind of continue to bounce back from the kind of level where he was playing, right? Because there was a low point where he wasn't even scoring 20 points. And now, in these last 5 games, he's gone over 20 points 4 times. He's missing tonight's game against Denver at the time that we were recording, but his efficiency was his battle, right? It wasn't a factor of him not being able to score. It was always a question of how efficient can he score. And in these last couple of games, he struggled with the 3, but that game against Houston, him being 5 of 10, shows you that he can do it when he's locked in. And I don't know if he wasn't locked in, but sometimes when you're struggling, it's hard to make the 3-pointer. It's hard to get into that rhythm.
Can't buy a bucket.
Look at Duncan. And I'm not saying that Hero is Duncan. Hero's way better than Duncan, right? Way different game. But just seeing the ball go in that many times is a good thing for that guy, man. Like I said, in the last 5 games, he's averaging 34% from the 3. Not necessarily the best, but also not bad, right? And having that...
No, let's be real. It needs to improve.
Yeah. I mean, you would want him to be closer to the 40s, dog, but...
Has to be.
He's also attempting 8 a game, dog.
For us to... But you know what? if that means you're going to take 2 less shots... Because let's be real, sometimes he's taking shots that we're not too comfortable with. We're like, why are you taking that shot? Right. How many times have you said that about Tyler Hero?
Right. A bunch. No.
So it's like, if we take the right shots here, the better, the smarter miss. You know what I mean? Let's put it in golf terms. It's like that's what we need as far as efficiency. We're seeing Bam being so efficient. We're seeing Jimmy. That's all he's ever known. You're the third guy. We need you to be just as efficient, because then that means there's going to be such a disparity between your ceiling and your floor. And we can't have that. We need them to be kind of like, we need a higher floor. Your ceiling could be uncapped, but we need a higher floor for you.
Well, look, if you, I'm not saying that you're wrong, right? Because you do have a valid point. But at the same time, we got to know what we're dealing with. I don't want to say a high volume scorer, but he's also taking advantage of the fact that the main guy really doesn't take that as many shots, right? Which is Jimmy Butler, right? The second guy in charge, which is Bam, or 1A, 1B, whatever you want to call it. He's the one who's really putting up a lot of shots as far as the paint goes, right? And being efficient in that manner. Tyler Hero probably feels like he's the biggest threat from beyond the 3-point line. So he's going to chuck it up because there's nobody else that can really chuck it up. Yeah, Gabe Vincent may have the occasional good game, Struz, right, where they get hot a little bit for a game or two. But it's not nowhere near consistent as somebody like Tyler Hero could be, So for him, I'd rather... Yeah, at this point, put up the shots, right? Because we know where we're going to be as far as seeding goes. Ceiling going to be number 4, bottom going to be number 6. But if he can take that some type of confidence, right, and see the ball continue to go in and have 50% games, 45% games from 3, that's going to really help him come playoff time, because then he's going to be locked in as far as mentally to hit bigger shots, because he's going to have to hit big shots for us in the playoffs.
For sure.
For us to have a chance, a legitimate chance of winning, because at this point, we can clearly say that we trust in Jimmy, obviously, and we also trust in Bam, without a doubt, to perform in the playoffs, because, like I said earlier, this has been Bam's best season, and I'm just excited to see what it looks like in the playoffs.
Yeah, bro, for sure. We got a little time. We still got All-Star break.
True.
We still got, the second half of the season, so we can't get too ahead of ourselves. But that's going to be definitely something to look forward to.
Hell yeah.
If we can stay healthy. We got to stay healthy.
That's the trick. That's the trick. If we can stay healthy and keep our main guys on the court, we'll get performances like the Orlando game where Jimmy Butler hits a clutch jumper to get us tied up, and then in overtime hits another clutch jumper to pretty much seal the game for the Heat. we need those type of performances from Jimmy to be clutch. But we also need to help Jimmy out in the games, right? Keep him fresh. Maybe not play him every single game or in a 4-game stretch. Give him a break. The only thing that's been as weird as for me right now recently with the Heat, as far as bad vibes go, is the situation with Lowry, dog. Like, he continues to miss games for whatever reason, excuse absence. It just makes me wonder why we didn't just take, peanuts for whatever this guy could have gotten, Because now we're facing a situation where he's in a bad space, and that could be a bad space for the rest of the guys in the locker room.
Nobody wants him. That's the problem. That's one of the main problems. Nobody wants that guy on their team right now. And there was rumors, trade deadline came and went. We saw a lot of moves in the NBA. The only one we ended up making was the Denman move for cash.
Right.
So, I called it. I said I didn't think we were going to make a move, and it just so happened. But now there's a potential talks of player buyouts. A guy named Russell Westbrook and a couple other guys. John Wall's another guy that they're talking about potentially their teams buying them out and then them being able to sign. I don't know a lot about that, dog. How does that work? How would that work?
Pretty much
they be a free agent when they get bought out?
Correct. They hit the restricted free agent.
Restricted?
No. Unrestricted.
So they can sign with anybody.
With any team.
At that point in the season.
Well, yeah, like Orlando. They cut Terrence Ross, right? They bought him out, and he's going to sign with Phoenix. Straight contract for the rest of the year, whatever, depending how he plays. He can sign a longer year contract, or he can even sign a 2-year deal, whatever. Gotcha. But he's pretty much a free agent the moment they cut him and pay him.
So we can sign any one of these guys if they get bought out for a potential 1 year. It doesn't have to be long term.
No, it doesn't have to be long term. But then what you have to assess there is risk reward, right? And with a guy like John Wall, probably it's 50-50. With a guy like Russell Westbrook, it's probably 40-60. Best case scenario, 45.
Why do you say that?
Because we just seen him be on 6 teams in 4 or 5 years, bro. And none of them have worked for him or the team. So why bring him here? It's almost as like having a Lowry and trading and picking up a Lowry.
I would take him over Lowry.
You say that.
I would definitely.
Until you see
look at his stats. Have you seen their stats this year compared? Both of them?
Yeah. They're both trash.
I would say I would argue with Russell Westbrook coming off the bench, his numbers are way better than what Lowry's been able to produce with starter minutes.
Bro, you're going from pig shit to horse shit.
Nah, dog, I'm being real, dog.
Listen to me.
16 points a game, dude's averaging coming off the bench.
Listen to me.
What's Lowry doing? 13, 14 points a game?
Listen to me. It's more than just that, dog. It's more than just the points.
Assists, rebounds, he has them all. He has way better statistics.
And all the negative shit. LeBron, who's chasing a championship, said, nah, dog, I'm straight on you, homie. Get him out of here.
You make it seem like that's that easy.
Well, the fact is that he's, again, been on 6 different teams now. After signing a max contract. It hasn't worked with this dude anywhere.
Yeah, he signed the max contract with OKC.
Anywhere. And that's
after going Mr. Triple-Double back-to-back years. Broke Oscar. Everybody forgets about this.
No.
Broke Oscar Robertson's record. Then did it again the following year.
Impressive.
And then he got the max contract. OKC went through a whole restructure. They sold the bag. They sold everything to be able to regroup, restructure everything. Then where does he go? He goes over to Houston.
Correct. They didn't work there either.
That doesn't work out with, I guess, James Harden at the time. Was Harden still there? And they both end up getting shipped out?
Yep.
I mean,
goes to LA, all this hype, nothing.
But
now he gets dealt somewhere else, instantly getting bought out. Not even a chance to say, yo, let's see what you got. And the doubt, my bad, dog, but the doubt isn't on his basketball skills, homie. It's everything else that he brings to the court. It's the drama, the mental.
What drama does he bring?
He's always about himself. He has issues with teammates. He has issues with practice. He has issues with coaches. It's about Russell Westbrook, the person, not the basketball player, dog. Because when he's focused on the court, yeah, he can play well if he's the one running it. But if he's not the one running it, then it's not going to work. And again, you can't just fit a circle into a square hole. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't work. And there's a reason why GMs prefer not to have him. Any of the others contenders could have been named. How come none of them have been named? Except for the Clippers, because he lives in LA. And us, because we have an obvious need at point guard. That's it. No other team, not Boston, not Philly, nothing. So, again, it's not his basketball skills. Everybody knows he can put the ball in the hoop and he can pass the ball, no doubt. Can he do it in a team fashion? Can he do it in a way that helps the team win? Everybody wants to say yes, but it hasn't. There's no proof of it working.
I don't know. I don't think I'm not trying to defend Russell Westbrook, but now it's kind of turned into that because I disagree. I do think that the guy does embody a lot of things that would align with Heat culture. I think he is a hard worker. I think he is all basketball all the time. I think that he's a little misunderstood because of maybe a couple spats and things that have occurred. But, you hear things like in the bubble, he was the only guy to leave, a tip behind for the, the housekeeping staff. That tells me, like, that's a humble dude, bro. That's a real dude, down-to-earth dude. You know what I mean? And the fact that he has been able to come off the bench and say, I'll come off the bench, I guess, if that's going to be it, but I'm going to do my job and still be able to produce starter stats, I think that tells you that he is a team player. It's just it's not working out in LA. Why? Because LeBron is that dude. And he's always going to be that dude. There can't be two alphas. You know what I mean? So,
homie, he's walking into a team again with two alphas.
Sure, but now at this point, now it's coming down to the coaching. This is what I'm going to say, and this is the last thing that I'll say about this subject. I think Coach Spo would be able to get the most out of Russell Westbrook, especially at this point in his career with his skill set for our team. And we wouldn't have to do something long term. It could be a 1-year deal for just the rest of the season or whatever. And we, hey, let's write it out, bro. Lowry, you're out. I don't know how we're going to get you out of here somehow, but bring in Westbrook. And I would, my whole point of saying all that was that I would prefer Russell Westbrook over Kyle Lowry right now all day.
But I'll do you one better. I'd rather go get John Wall, dog, who's a thug. And one big thing I got to disagree with you on before we move on is the fact that he's 100% basketball all the time. He's not. No NBA basketball player that's on that level is doing that, right? Because they always have outside ventures. We see Jimmy Butler with the coffee and all this stuff, right? Like, so it's hard to be basketball all the time when you're a brand. And he's a brand. Respect to him. And I'm not saying that he's a bad guy. That's not the point. Just doesn't work for whatever reason from a basketball standpoint. From a basketball standpoint, it never works, whether inside the locker room or on the court. It just doesn't work. And that doesn't mean he's a bad guy. It's like you said, he's definitely misunderstood, dog. He's more than a basketball player. You know what I mean? And a lot of people don't recognize that. I'm not saying that I don't. I just don't think that he would fit here. Spo, for as a cool guy as he may be, that dude is hard-headed as fuck because he knows what success is. And he knows what his type of success is. So I don't expect him to say, yeah, let me put my arm around this guy. He's going to be like, yo, motherfucker, either you fall in line or you don't. And that's going to be a hard line because that's how it goes with inside that locker room, with Jimmy Butler and these guys. So I don't know, man. I think just there's better options than Russell Westbrook out there. And more importantly, it's you got to kind of roll with the guys you have at the moment. We have a big road test coming up. We play Brooklyn on Wednesday. Got Milwaukee on Friday. That's the last game is Brooklyn before the All-Star break, and then we have the All-Star weekend in Utah. And I don't know, man. I would love to see these guys wrap up that little road trip with a win and make that 5 in a row.
We need road wins. We need more of them.
Absolutely, dog. Let's see. Let's start tonight with Denver. Get some pizza mañana by the time the recording hits, and everybody can have a very nice Tuesday as we get ready for the All-Star weekend, man. I got to give a quick shout out to one of my favorite teams right now is the Miami Hurricanes basketball team, bro. Those guys have kept it rolling this entire year. Still undefeated at home.
Another ACC opponent taken down.
Another ACC opponent going down, dog. That's 4 straight wins, for the Hurricanes. Just so impressive what these guys do, man, and how they're able to do it. Because, again, we're not one of those teams or those schools that is known for basketball. And everything that Coach L and his staff has done with recruiting and having these guys put a system in that these players can excel in, man, because we saw it in person when we went to that game recently. It's just that it looks like they're playing with a knowledge of self, right? And knowing where everyone is going to be at and, pass it to this guy when he's hot and let's try to get this dude open down here in the post. Because, again, ACC is a tough place to play basketball in for a school. And for the Hurricanes to be one of the best teams in the ACC when it comes to it right now. And they just recently got updated to 15th ranking. That means they're putting big wins under their belt, and the nation is taking notice of what's happening down
I would say the ACC for basketball is comparable to what the SEC is for football.
That's a good way to put it, dog.
Is there a better
conference right
Duke,
now?
North Carolina? I know you get your Villanovas,
Right.
Because what's Villanova? I don't even know what conference they're in or whatever.
Got
But
me.
Arizona, you get some of these good schools out west, UNLV and all that. But I feel like the powerhouses are Kansas State. Nah, I think ACC definitely is a powerhouse when it comes to basketball hoops.
Bro, that in the Big East, man. Because
College
look,
hoops.
right now in the ACC, you have 5 teams with double-digit wins in the conference. Pittsburgh, Virginia, Miami, and Clemson. And Virginia's ranked 7th in the nation right now.
Damn.
Top 10 team. Yeah, they've been balling.
Who is
19-4, dog.
You got the top 10 in front of you?
Yeah, I got the top 10. Give me 1 second. But yeah, as far as that goes, Virginia's probably put good teams in. Here's your top 10. You got Alabama, Houston, Purdue, UCLA, Kansas, Texas, Virginia, Arizona, Baylor, and Tennessee.
Baylor.
A lot of teams there that you expect to be there, right?
Yeah.
So for the Hurricanes to be top 15 in the AP, 13 in the coaches poll, shows a little bit of respect to what's going on down here in Coral Gables and what Coach L has done, bro.
Facts.
I just think that this might be, like we were talking about with that guy, man, this might be one of the most talented teams that UM has put together for their men's basketball program. We know what's up with the women's, right? Like the women's are always balling. But for this team to be that team, I just think they could really be a Final Four contender.
Put them in the bracket.
Dog, that's wild. That's wild for this team to be a Final Four contender, dog. That's one of those teams that a lot of people are saying, hey, look out for it. Don't get these guys in the second round. Don't get these guys in the first round. Because even in the ACC, they have a big matchup against Clemson. They also have a big matchup against Pitt later on in the year. And tonight they'll be playing North Carolina on the road. They get that win, moves them up to 12 wins in the conference, 21-5 record. How do you not put this team in the top 10 after that?
Oh, we got to look at what the rest of the teams are doing.
Hey, I get that, but just from a level
it's hard
of
to go from
consistency.
15 to inside the top 10 just off of one more win.
I hear you, dog, but again, we're just so dominant at home, dog. 14 wins at home,
we got to see what happens on the road tonight.
We got to see what happens on the road tonight, dog. I'm not gonna say that I'm worried, right? But I look forward to the challenge of seeing these guys playing in a tough environment, right? Because playing at UNC is not easy. They always pack the house, right? Regardless of whether the team is doing bad or good. And they just make it hard for opponents to go in there and get dubs. The Kings have done it, but it's not just as easy as walking in there saying, we got this, Let's see, man. Let's see what happens, dog. We're not even favored in this game tonight.
Yeah, no, shit. That's why. This is going to be a tough test.
5.5, man. 5.5. That's kind of crazy. But you know what? I feel confident in this Hurricanes team, dog. I really do, bro. We saw it in person. We know that Amir is a beast, right? We've seen what Juan can do, Walker can do. These guys are able to score big buckets whenever they need one. And the defense is definitely one of the best in the nation, right? You got to really see the way that they're able to convert a lot of their points from turnovers, right? Playing good defensive sound basketball, getting into passing lanes, creating steals, and running on the court. We saw these guys with 12 breakaways against that Duke team. It's not easy to do. We're going to smoke these guys tonight. Definitely smoking on that Tar Heel pack.
Love it.
I know what you love, man.
What do I love?
The ending to this Waste Management Open.
Oh, man.
What an amazing Open, dog.
Not even just the ending, bro. The whole weekend.
The whole weekend, man.
So let's talk about, before we just jump on, let's just jump into it.
Yeah.
We had a couple picks last week.
Yep.
None of our picks won.
Nope. My guy did much better than your guy.
Oh, fuck. I mean, if you're going to call out my guy, who was my guy? Who did I pick? Go ahead. You're going to shit on me. Go ahead.
No,
call it out.
You didn't pick Justin shit.
I picked Justin Thomas.
You did.
Yeah, he did pretty well.
He did all right.
He finished top 5.
He did all right.
Which is big. And I also picked Ricky Fowler.
Wow, Ricky.
Who did really well and had an ace on the weekend. Not on the 16th, but he had it on the 7th.
And look, I texted you that Ricky had been playing well, and we saw him and I was like, Doño, he's making a lot of good comeback shots where he's not digging himself into a deeper hole like he normally would. He really kept his composure, and he played a great round of golf.
He was back. It's good to see him. I mean, the last time he won a professional tournament was there at Waste Management, 2017, I think. But he did well. The only one that from my guys that didn't do great was Victor Hovland. He finished 2 under for the weekend, and that was a little disappointing. I think he finished tied for like 42nd, which it's, in the grand scheme of things, it's like, sorry, that's pretty good actually. But it's like when you had guys going 10, 11, 12 under, that's tough. Rom did really well. That was your pick.
And he even let it go towards the end too. That wrapped it up, right?
Yeah, he wasn't, he didn't play well enough. He played good, obviously. He finished top 3, so I think solo third. But he didn't play well enough to really give a Scotty a run, and Scotty played lights out. I mean, he won it last year. It was his first career win was last year, and that was the start of a crazy season for him, which ultimately led to the PGA Player of the Year for him. It was a crazy season where he won the Masters and all that stuff. So it was like I was kind of upset with myself to not think like Scotty would go back to back at an event like this. You know what I mean?
It's crazy that neither one of us picked him, right?
Right. And not to say that I didn't think he could win it. Like obviously, there's just so many of these guys on any given weekend. You see all these guys how well they do, and it's like it's anybody's game. It's just a couple more putts or whatever. And he was on fire on Saturday, and then Sunday came out and just did not let up. No. And he was given a little bit of run for his money by what's the
Nick Taylor.
Nick Taylor. And Nick Taylor actually played really well as well, man. But came up a couple
65, dog.
Couple shots short in the when it was all said and done. But Scotty was able to just win it outright. Didn't have to go to a playoff this year or anything like that. And he just cruised to victory. And it was crazy because he hit a bunch of bad shots.
But you're 100.
He grinded.
He grinded, dog. You know what I mean? He really hit a bunch of good recovery shots, and that's something that we were talking about. Like we saw a lot of the guys who finished in that top 10 or inside that good amount of prize money make some amazing recovery shots. Dudes hitting 5 irons, 3 irons from bunkers and landing them on the green for a birdie putt. That was the level of play out there that weekend. A guy that we didn't talk enough about, heading into it, I think was Jordan Spieth, right? Him and
he played well this weekend, but Sunday he kind of stalled out. He started with a birdie and then just kind of stalled out the rest of the day. He even stuck one to like 6 feet on 18 and missed that putt. And it was such a bad putt that he hit it, and as soon as it came off the face, he just started walking towards it.
He knew it.
Yeah. When his putter's hot, that guy is dangerous. But he didn't have it this week.
You know who impressed as well? The South Korean, Sungjae Im. How do you say his first name?
Sungjae.
Sungjae Im. He played an amazing round for me because every time that I saw him, right, he felt like he was having good conversations with his caddy, which was allowing him to put him in the best position with the best club in hand in order to hit the shot. And the guys that he was playing with that round were balling. I think he was playing in the... Damn it! Who the hell was he playing with, bro?
It depends what day, man. They also
the first 2 days when he made the cut. I think he was playing with Jordan or Justin Thomas.
Maybe
one of those two.
Maybe Jason Day.
Yeah, I think it was one of those 3 guys. But even still, for him to be not a guy who's considered one of the best or a real threat, and for him to hang with these guys shot after shot and really, just put himself in a position.
Sungjae is a dog.
Balled out.
He finished 11 under. He was tied for 6 with Spieth and Sam Burns and Tyrrell Hatton. But yeah, no, dude, there's so many guys. You look at all these guys, man. There was so many guys in double digits, bro. I mean, it's just crazy. 10,
the
11,
top 10,
14.
So everybody who tied for the top 10, pretty much.
No, 13 people were all double digits. That's and then the winner was almost 20 under Scotty at 19. But no, the weekend was awesome, man. The Waste Management at 16 was lit Saturday. The best shot of the day. They didn't get a hole in one all weekend, but the best shot of the day on 16 came at the last shot. The last person to tee off, which was Adam Hadwin, teed it up and almost made it. He stuck it to a foot or two, and the crowd went crazy, threw all their beers and everything. They were
this is it, guys. Best opportunity for it.
And it's the last one. Might as well now, And then they also had a streaker.
Oh, the 19th hole. I thought we were going to miss that talking about that.
He started on 16, got away, shook somebody with a little Tyreek Hill juke.
Nobody really wanted to touch a guy who was half naked, completely in that dirty ass water.
And then he ended up making it into the lake, on 17 where the water is, bro. It was wild. And then we even had a club toss from Max Homa.
One of us.
Yep,
One of
definitely
us.
one of us. It was elite. It was a good. I saw the breakdown
Straight
on
out the
Instagram.
bunker from one bunker to the other.
Shout out to Danny for sharing that video, but a hell of a weekend, man.
Happens to everybody,
The waste management, was electric as always. It just kind of gets golf really started now, it feels like.
No, for sure. And obviously the best news that came out of that weekend was Tiger Woods announcing that he's ready for the Genesis Open, dog.
Yeah.
And everybody's reaction like, oh, Tiger's in? Oh, shit, Tiger's in? Oh, okay, cool. Tiger's in, huh? And everyone's like, yo, write it down.
Well, I mean, it is,
It's the biggest thing that happened.
It's his tournament. So it makes sense why he would pick this, as a regular tournament to play in.
Yeah.
Because he's only playing in majors now. So it makes sense. It's his event. But it's also the site and the place where he had his accident a few years ago that caused him to, not be able to play for a while.
Right.
There's a whole leg injury and all that stuff. So it's interesting to
Full
see.
circle.
Let's see what he's able to do this coming weekend.
Just excited. Regardless of how he does, I'm just always excited to see him play and to see what level he's at right now.
Everybody wants to see the big
Everybody wants to see the big cat, dog.
Facts.
He's the biggest draw, dog. Oh, best thing that ever happened to golf, man.
For sure.
I think so, bro. I really do think so.
There's no debate about that.
Right? Zero. And, bro, they're even bringing back the anniversary shoes.
I saw that.
Wild. I'm not paying.
I don't know if I should get them or not.
We'll just close the eyes and swipe, dog.
Nah, because like for me, like I've always known Tiger, obviously, because he's such an icon and such a he's bigger than just golf. Like he's transcended the sport and everything he's done, and I wasn't into golf until about 5 or 6 years ago. So like I didn't grow up playing golf and I didn't have the Tigers and shit like that. So like I don't have that memory of that shoe. I understand, that it came out and it's like a throwback. I understand the whole, where it fits in the social zeitgeist, but it's like I don't have a connection to it as somebody that might have been playing 10 years ago and it's like, oh my God, I bought a pair and they got ruined or some shit. I lost them. My wife threw them out. Like I can see somebody like that. But I'll just try to get them anyways just because usually shoes like that sell out.
Absolutely.
Might have some good resale value.
Absolutely, bro. And yeah, man, it's a type of shoe that is not going to come back, right? Like they have the Jordan 1s and you'll see a bunch of variations of that. But like with that Tiger Woods shoe specifically, like, they're not going to put that into production again. They're doing this 10-year anniversary one run, you know what I mean? And get the most out of that.
But let me tell you, dog, no free
That's
ads.
out, though.
No free ads, but the Jordan 1s, low key, might be my favorite golf shoe.
I seen you wearing them this weekend, dog.
Dog, I got the orange ones.
Now you're just finding every excuse to wear them. This guy's buying 15 green shirts.
Nah, I need to get one now for these. But I got the ones last year, the shattered backboards, and they're fire. Like they're very comfortable, and I like the orange and stuff. And then now these the Masters edition, I guess the ones that are green
ones, yeah.
Bro, they fit so good because like I have the Air Maxes, and the Air Maxes don't fit me as good. Like they're a little bit more narrow.
Yes.
And the ones just like hug my foot, dog. So I'm just
man.
like, I need more of these in my
life.
life.
You know what Coach Steve would say? You got to get shoes with spikes, dog. You got to get shoes with spikes.
Nah, not always.
Man. Not always, man. Sometimes it's better, to look good if you're just playing with the homies, right?
Dog. I'm not playing on tour.
We're not playing on tour, man. Shout out to Coach Steve, man.
Oh yeah,
he's the man, dog. I mean, let's get into it because there was a lot of talk. I don't want to say controversy. There was a lot of talk about how the game ended, right? In the Super Bowl 57, between the Eagles and the Chiefs. Chiefs end up taking it 38-35 on after scoring a field goal with 3 seconds left, 5 seconds left, and Philly tried to throw a Hail Mary that went 30 yards, but whatever. The whole game as it went, right, was exciting. It was probably one of the best Super Bowls that we've had in the last 10 years as far as storylines, as far as the play on the field from the quarterbacks, as far as the teams being evenly matched, right? There was a lot of things that kind of led to the Super Bowl being potentially one of the best. And it, in my opinion, it definitely delivered, regardless of how the game ended, because they both came out tit for tat, right? Philly lost the coin toss, which I got wrong, by the way. And then, came straight down the field and scored. And then we saw the response immediately from Kansas City, and it was like, oh, shit, we're going to have a real Super Bowl, And then it tightened up right there. Both defenses came to play. And the biggest thing that happened in the first half was that defensive touchdown that the Chiefs got, right? Jalen Hurts broke out. He caught the shotgun snap, started to roll out to his right. For whatever reason, had butterfingers. Ball came out. Kansas City scooped it, took it all the way to the house for 7. if that doesn't happen, potentially Philly can go down, score another touchdown, and really put some distance between them and the Chiefs. And I felt, and I mentioned it, where a defensive touchdown is going to be a big input, like important factor for the team that gets it, and it definitely did.
No, it definitely helped Kansas City, but you also got to put in context that Philly closes out the first half with a 10-point lead.
Correct.
So even with that defensive touchdown, Jalen Hurts is still able to bounce back. I mean, 3 rushing touchdowns.
What an amazing game,
I mean,
dog.
The kid's a beast.
He's
you
the
saw
real
him
deal,
make plays. And not just with his legs. Like, you see him make throws when they needed to, long third downs, that he's getting the ball to Dallas Goedert, Devontae Smith, or A.J. Brown. That touchdown that he threw to A.J. Brown was disgusting.
Amazing.
He threw a nice pass to Devontae Smith that Devontae should have had a touchdown on, but...
No, he shouldn't have, because he did an excellent job of turning to catch it and staying in bounds and making sure that he stayed in bounds. You know what I mean?
Sure.
The way that he was positioned and the ball was coming at him, he had to make sure that
but he was wide open, dog.
He was wide open.
And that should have been a touchdown.
A little better throw, and it would have been.
Maybe, but it was a great throw in the end. But yeah, they close that half, up 10 points, and it's like, man, all right, it's looking good for the Eagles here. The Kansas City, they're without that defensive touchdown, it would be
big trouble.
It would be a 16-point game. It wouldn't be a 10-point game.
Big trouble.
And then second half comes around.
And
after,
they missed
I guess
the field goal.
Rihanna maybe had a lot to do with it. In
halftime. Well, look, interesting enough, right? They missed the field goal, right? Buckner missed the field goal, hit the post, boom, loudest sound in the freaking stadium, right?
Then they got the defensive touchdown to make up for it.
And then they got the defensive touchdown to make up for it. Right before the half, Mahomes gets tackled. His ankle kind of goes a little bit inside. He tweaks it for a little bit. Looks like he's in a world of pain. Boom, 29-minute, 30-minute halftime, where he got time to kind of like walk on it and, stretch it out. And then it was, take this and show us what you got, and the performance that we got off. Oh, man, for sure he was.
They gave him 2 perks and a cortisone, and they were like, we'll see you in the morning.
Absolutely.
He was like, bye-bye.
We'll see you in Orlando. If you can ball out, we'll see you in Orlando.
See you in Disney. But he did that. He came back. He didn't look like he was hurt at all, bro, when he came back in that second half.
Look, man, there was, again, I hate to bring it up because of how good the game was, right? But that game did not come down to that last call, dog. It didn't. You know what I mean? We can look back at specific things that happened in the third and fourth quarter where it was like, all right, the Eagles put themselves in a bad position, or the Chiefs put themselves in a bad position. You mentioned it earlier. Goddard, didn't really catch anything the first half, and then all of a sudden, second half becomes the biggest target, or the next Travis Kelce, right? Starts making all these amazing catches and getting down the field. He also paid a big part because one of those catches were controversial and ended up working in the favor of the Eagles, where they ended up scoring off of it, right? Those type of plays end up happening. But when you look at the fourth quarter and what decided the game, it was 2 things. 2 major things that the Philly was completely in control of, mainly the defense and the special teams, not Jalen Hurts, because this guy balled out of his mind. 27 of 38, 304 yards, a touchdown, 0 INTs, 70 yards, 3 touchdowns rushing. What more could you want from this guy, right? But there was that punt return, right? That Ivan Toney, I think his name is, right?
Kadarius Toney. Yeah, it took it like 65 yards down inside the 10.
Bruh.
5.
Bruh. That's a big mishap, because you just made it super easy for the best offense in the NFL to go out there and score on you and get even more into this game and more momentum on their side.
Right.
That's the first thing. The second thing was the defensive play, right, where they let Mahomes scramble for 40 yards. Complete breakdown. Dude's back there, breaks the pocket, runs, doesn't slide, runs completely until he gets tackled. You can't allow that to happen. You got to make that guy throw. How do you not have a spy on that? Again, you're just giving him momentum, his team, more belief in themselves to go down the field on your defense and score. And guess what? The whole time those 2 things happened, you know where Jalen Hurts was? On the bench.
Yeah, because you can't play offense when the defense is out there, and that was my thing, man. I had the Eagles just based on I thought the defense was better than Kansas City's, and I thought that was going to ultimately win it for them. Mm-hmm. And they did a good job containing Mahomes and the Chiefs in the first half. Aside from the touchdown to Kelce and all that stuff, but. The second half, man, the Andy Reid, credit to him, he was able to figure it out. They even did the little merry-go-round play. They didn't do anything for him, but they busted it out, and it's like, they're feeling good
when
they're
doing
bringing
this
that shit out, you know, in a Super Bowl against the Eagles, and it was like they just kind of had their way with them in that second half, man.
What a
the
genius.
Eagles were underwhelming, and as far as defense goes, because offensively, beautiful.
Yeah, and look, you know, Mahomes had 3 touchdowns, no INTs, and just the play calling inside the red zone was genius from Andy Reid. There was one specific touchdown. I think it was the one that Ivan.
Well, he had one. Kadarius Toney, he was wide open.
But why was he wide open?
Because, well, they faked. It was like an RPO that they faked out to the left, and everybody pulled. And Kadarius Toney played a beautiful route because he was in motion the whole time, and then he cut back, and his defender just stayed thinking that it was a run, and he was wide open in the flat.
And it was because of the guy who was like running. He was running into motion, which was Travis Kelce, who had been killing these guys, right? So everybody's thinking, oh shit, the motion's coming. They're gonna try to run some type of pick or something for Kelce.
That little inside pitch they like doing.
Right back to the other side, completely
wide open. And then the other one was on the opposite side of the field, same idea, completely open in the flat again. I forgot who that touchdown was to.
I think that was...
Was it Juju?
No. I got it right here. It was...
Was it Pacheco?
Yes.
Yeah, it might have been Pacheco because he did the...
No, Moore.
Uzi.
Sky Moore.
Oh, it was Sky Moore. You're right. You're
Sky
absolutely
Moore.
right, yeah.
Sky Moore.
But Pacheco had a touchdown too.
That guy balled out, dog.
Yeah,
Let me tell you.
Crazy
15 carries, 76 yards, touchdown in the Super Bowl. And he ran hard.
Huge.
He ran hard, you know what I mean? Yeah, credit to Andy Reid, dog. He's such a genius when it comes to offensive production. I just hope that our guy, McDaniels, can be close to mentioning to that, because if he can get close to that, dog, the offense that we're going to see here in Miami is always going to be one that's fun and a real threat. Again, once, you know, the Eagles tied up the game, right, when Jalen Hurts went for the 2, after rushing for his 3rd touchdown. He also rushed for the 2-point conversion. Got it.
The octopus. I learned what that was.
Explain it to everybody.
The octopus is a bet that you can bet on. Does somebody score a touchdown and then also get the 2-point conversion as well?
Yeah.
And Jalen Hurts did that. One of my buddies cashed out big, because he bet on that.
Awesome, dog. And again, just shows you how well Jalen Hurts played, right? And how skilled that dude is, dog. You know, for being as athletic as he is, he's also a very durable dude, tough dude.
Yeah, he played great, man. Mahomes too. Mahomes is going to be, if not, you know, he's going to be probably second to Tom Brady if that's the case. If not,
wild.
He could surpass Tom Brady as the greatest. I mean, he already has 2 under his belt.
I mean, I don't know if you felt the same way, dog, but when I saw that, again, the Eagles tied it, I'm looking at the clock. It's like 5 minutes. Chiefs have 3 timeouts, and you're giving Patrick Mahomes the ball.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
This game's a wrap. Regardless of whatever happens, this game is over because Philadelphia's not touching that ball. And they're going to kick a 45-yard field goal, whatever, but Philadelphia's not touching that ball.
Yeah, but hey, you know what? None of our teams were in this game.
True.
But there is a tie to our team on this game, and it was the fact that our future defensive coordinator, Vic Fangio, was playing consultant to
the Eagles.
No, to the Kansas City defense.
Chiefs. You're right. My fault.
So how does that make you feel? I mean, I know he's not going to have a huge impact there as far as their defensive scheme and all that stuff, but, you know, the fact that he was a part of that Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's what matters the most, right? Where he comes in and says, this is why whatever I'm going to tell you is going to work. So either you listen to me and we make it happen, or you don't and you look stupid on the field. I feel like that's going to be his approach, dog. You know, he's a no-nonsense type of guy. And when you get hired just for 2 weeks to come and consult, dog, that just means you're the shit. And everybody knows it. You know what I mean? So when he walks into this building and becomes an official defensive coordinator for us, it's going to really raise the level of expectation for the defense. You know, we've talked about it where we know we have talent on that side of the football. We need to see it produce a lot more consistent. Can he be that X factor? All signs point to yes. It just makes me excited to see what the potential could be. But like I said, the expectations for this defensive unit is going to be high. It's definitely going to be high. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it, you know. Now, we don't know what's going to happen with the offensive side of the football, right? What type of improvements get made there on the line and, you know, Tua and all this stuff. But as far as the defense goes, mentally and game plan wise, is going to be on the same level as McDaniels, if not more, and on the offensive side.
And that should be official now soon, because they said after the Super Bowl, so we should see that official.
Make the announcement
soon. And then once that announcement comes through, I know I'm going to be able to go somewhere to get that directly.
Where?
Sports with SoSo, Twitter
fact.
or Instagram or YouTube, because I know you're keeping people updated with all the Dolphins moves in the offseason.
And you know what? There's going to be a lot of stuff happening fast in these next month, 2 months, right? Cuts, signings, extensions. It's going to be interesting. This Dolphins offseason is going to be even more interesting. Before we wrap up, though, I wanted to get your thoughts real quick on the UFC fight between Volkanovski and Makachev.
I was hoping you didn't ask me that question.
Oh, you didn't watch it, bro?
That's what you got Jesse for.
Jesse.
Make sure to tune into the UFC recap.
Fight Rewind. We're definitely going to break it down, dog.
I didn't watch it, but I saw Makachev won, and everybody's saying it was probably the fight of the year already.
For sure, dog. The strength that dude has, dog, is wild. Volkanovski is wild, dog, when it comes to his power in his legs, dog. Stood him up like over 10 times, dog. Stood this dude up over 10 times. And that's wild because Makachev didn't stop coming, dog. And you know what? I only mentioned that because I felt like he did deserve the victory. He did good enough on the feet as far as being a threat and, you know, neutralizing Volk as far as his offensive threat and just his, you know, consistency to try to bring this guy down and work when he did have him down. It was really a great fight, dog. And it's going to be hard for these next upcoming UFCs main events coming up to kind of top that one, dog. And hopefully we do get to see it because we got that one in Miami coming soon, dog. Can't wait, dog. Pereira versus Adesanya 2. We got Masvidal versus Burns.
I want to see how much those tickets are going to be when they come out. I don't think they're out yet.
Chico, close the eyes and swipe, dog.
Chill with that shit, bro.
But you know what? If you don't close your eyes and swipe, you could do what Joel said, man. Follow us on social media. Make sure to check us out on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the notification on the top. Hit a like on our latest video and drop a comment. Let us know what you think, man. And if you have done all that, you know what to do. You got to tell a friend.
To tell a friend.
To tell another friend.
To tell one more friend.
To tell another friend about this amazing podcast and what we got for you guys. We got a special interview coming up for you guys this weekend with Lorenzo. Gonna be on fire. And we continue to work behind the scenes to bring you more exciting stuff. Stay tuned, y'all. Until next time.
Peace.